was taken from the film Agent Vinod. Right now, I have my special guest in the studio. It's Pallavi Ahluwalia from the Ahluwalia Law Offices, and it is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia. Number in the studio, 972-235-5555. So get ready to ask your question related to immigration and naturalization, or anything related to family law, corporate or civil matters. 972-235-5555. Number in the studio. And to reach them, you can call them at 972-361-0606. And their website, ahluwalialaw.com, or you can find more information on yourdclawyer.com. And to take up all your legal questions and answer them clearly, we have Pallavi here. And a very good morning to you, Pallavi. How are you?
Do I have the radio on now?
Okay. Yes, we're on.
A wonderful morning to you, Meetu. Glad to be here on your show with Your Business Matters. And I can see that the calls start lighting up almost right away, which means that we are being heard. Didn't have major announcements except to say that the visa bulletin should be coming out soon for November, and we should know what's going on with the predicted category, which is EP2 for India, that is supposed to retrogress. Still no news on the H4 announcement that would give them EADs. So if that's kind of the questions, we're still waiting on that. I was looking through President Obama's predicted executive action plan, and it's still falling short. He had vowed to make 2014 the year of action, but it hasn't happened, unfortunately. So, just going forward, let's just quickly take our callers and answer some questions.
All right, let's do that, and would like to tell our listeners that we will roll over after the break also, meaning Pallavi Ahluwalia will stay with us right after the break also. So hang in there and keep calling 972-235-5555. And I hope you get through soon. Panisha Radio, you're live on the air, and your question to Pallavi? Fun Asia Radio, आपको मेन स्ट्रीट जाना है, लेकिन फिलहाल आप अपना क्वेश्चन पूछें. That's all right. Go ahead, wait for your question, not a problem.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to know, I'm on F2 visa. Can I go for my CPA studies on F2 visa?
You'll have to get and the F2 you will not be able to study. You'll have to go ahead and get the I-20. So if the CPA studying, as in if you are not attending classes or anything like that, and it's a self-study, I'm sure you're okay to do that. However, if you were to start enrolling any classes, then you will need the F1.
All right.
Okay, so
thank you.
F2 I cannot do my studies, right? I have to go.
Self-studying should not be an issue. However, if you're enrolled in some classes, then you would need your own I-20.
Okay, I have to have my own I-20.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And it's a good question, because sometimes H4s are allowed to study. So H4s can study and have their own status, and those are dependents, but F2s don't have that same ability.
Okay, on H4 I can study, but on F2 I cannot.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
All the best.
All right. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You are live on the air, and your question to Pallavi?
Yes. I have a question. I wanted to apply for my mom citizenship.
Okay.
Not citizenship, but for a green card.
Okay.
And the issue is that the birth date we got from the native place, and the date is one day wrong than what is on the passport.
Okay. So which is the correct date?
Well, according to my mom, it is the one on the passport is 23rd May is correct.
Okay.
But when we went to the native place to get the birth certificate for 485, they put 24.
Okay.
So I looked at other stuff, and they said affidavit or whatever.
Surely.
But I want
secondary evidence, whatever else can prove the other date, which would be, any other documents. Say, for example, the school records, and if she has the ration card, anything that she has, plus an affidavit, maybe from another family member who's older than her, would help.
Oh, okay. But then it should be okay.
Yes. It requires a clarification. So if looks like you have an RFE, right? You have a request for evidence?
No, I'm not going to have a fee. I'm going to apply for her.
Okay, you will apply for her. No 485 yet. Okay. Yeah, so just make sure that all of this is put together properly and then given and explained.
Okay.
All right. All the best.
All right, thank you so much for your call. Going to our next caller and would like to share that number once again. If you want to reach Pallavi, you can call them at 972-361-0606 for your appointments. Their website aluvalialaw.com, or you can also log on to yourdclawyer.com. Fanisha Radio, you're live on the air. And your question?
My friend came from Australia 2 years ago on a multi-entry visa. She had 2 entrances, 3 months each, and she went out before they expired.
Okay.
When she came back the 3rd time, we got married.
Okay.
And then she had a nervous breakdown, and she left the country. And she's been in treatment for a year. Now when she wanted to come back, because we did not apply for her change of status when we got married, she left in a medical emergency. They first declined the multiple entry visa, and then we tried to get her on a business visa, and they have put a 10-year ban on her because she overstayed.
Yeah, so that wasn't the best decision, the overstay. But the visitor visa also is not something, or the business visa is also not something that would be able to get past that overstay. So I think
now this 10-year ban is, we are married here in Dallas. She's Australian. So if we try to get her back in under my as my wife, is this ban is going to stop that process?
So you'll have to do a waiver in addition to that. So there would have to be a waiver that's filed, and it's because obviously there are no other issues, right? No criminal issues, nothing of concern. So just an overstay for how long?
She had a nervous breakdown.
Okay.
And she just left, and she's been in the hospital in New Zealand, and they just discharged her about 2 months ago.
Got it.
And now they're letting her travel.
Okay.
But when we applied for a visa, they declined it because the last time she overstayed.
Okay. So the overstay was for how long?
Well, I think 6 months. No, maybe a year. Sorry, a year. It was for more than a year.
Yeah, because under 180 days she would have been excused.
No,
so it was over 180 days.
We did not worry about it after the 3rd time when she entered from Mexico. They did not stamp her passport in the sense that they did not give her 60 or 90 days to go out of the country. So there was no stamp the 3rd time, and when she went to the embassy in New Zealand, they said, well, even though there was not a stamp, you're supposed to know that you cannot stay more than 6 months.
Right. So now just my thought here is that when you apply for the I-130 and you get to the consular processing stage, once you get that number, as in the NVC number, that's when the waiver would apply, and that's going to be a provisional waiver, and that is for unlawful presence. And at that point, yes, and at that point it has to be argued.
Let me ask you this. If we come in, this is more complicated than talk on the radio, but the attorney who is handling our stuff, she is telling us that she has to wait for 10 years, and there's no way around it.
So then maybe...
I'm not willing to accept that.
Okay.
So if I come and see you, you think we have a chance?
You know what, let me tell you one thing. We're obviously here in business and in practice and always welcome clients. This time, however, when I'm on the air, it's not to pull anyone into my office. So, however, if your attorney has given you that advice, it may be that that waiver has been denied. So you would want to check.
She's not applied for a waiver at all, period.
Nothing has been applied for?
Not in question one.
Okay. So meaning that just should be looked at, all options should be looked at. Now, the fact that this is, there is another standard that has to be looked at, and that is the extreme hardship standard to you. Okay.
I'm a single parent and I have a 10-year-old son, but she's not the biological mother.
Right. So see, that minimizes the argument. However, maybe there are other options that could be looked at to make that argument.
So may I set up an appointment to visit with you?
So,
You know
yes.
what? I'd like to share that number 972-361-0606. That's a number. And yes, if you need any elaboration on any of your question, I'm speaking on behalf of the entire Panasia team here. That if you have longer questions that need elaboration, please go ahead and make that call 972-361-0606. And thank you so much for all your calls.